Live from the PCTV studios, the Monday Morning Quarterback. Your host, Dave Ridenour.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show. I'm Dave Ridenour, the Monday Morning Quarterback, and tonight we have a special edition on Thursday night, live from Doc's Irish Pub over here in Boyertown. Well, as our norm, we normally take a quick break in the beginning. We come back, we're going to break down all the high school action for you from last week's time. So sit back and enjoy the Monday Morning Quarterback live at Doc's Irish Pub in Boyertown, PA.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
Yeah. At Vlahos Dunn Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vlahos Dunn Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and we're in your community.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
Hey, we're back here at the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback, Dave Ridenour, joined by a good friend of mine, filling in for Coach Mick, his former coach, former Perk Valley High School football coach, and our guest co-host tonight, Mr. Scott Reed. Scotty, thanks for stopping by and joining us on the show.
Pleasure to be here.
It's always fun to talk to you. First question I got to ask you, are you missing the sidelines and the games and things?
Well, I would say there's more days I don't miss it than I do miss it. Friday nights are always a little bit of an itch, but as soon as Friday's over, I'm pretty good being home and enjoying the family.
Yeah, well, this is your second year away from the game. Robbie Hike certainly has done a heck of a job filling in for you, and I know he was an assistant coach of yours, and I know you think very highly of him.
They're a great staff, and I think Rob's doing a great job, and he took the torch and kept running with it. A lot of those guys I consider some of my best friends, so really happy to see they're doing well and continuing to have a winning program.
Again, well, thanks for stopping by and joining us here on the show. As what we normally do to start off the show, Scotty, we have our top five. Our top five is the local high schools, and it is brought to you by Reinhardt Paints. Keith and Ronnie Reinhardt, been good loyal supporters of the show for many, many years. Good football players in their own right. Ronnie, certainly a Hall of Famer. Our top five for this week looks pretty similar to last week. We have Pottsgrove up there on top at number 1. They're still undefeated. PV right in there at that number 2 slot. Pope and John Paul, the best start to their school history at 7-0. Springford and Upper Perk round out number 4 and 5 position. That is our Reinhardt Paint top 5 for the area school. Scotty, again, those teams at top are really playing well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to see a lot of different teams up there. I think the Liberty Division and the Frontier Division are giving teams an opportunity to go out and win games outside the league, bring that momentum into the league, and bring those points, those great playoff points that everybody wants into the league. And it's going to be cool these last few weeks how this all shakes out.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm involved with the Coaches Association now, and there was some back and forth, whether you like the divisional play or non-divisional play. What's your opinion on that divisional play, Scott?
Well, I think when you finally get to the divisional play, I think it's a lot of fun because you're getting into your natural rivalries. I thought Boyertown, O&J is a great rivalry there. That's starting to heat up. Obviously, PV, Springford, Phoenixville, Pottstown's great to watch. You have Pottsgrove and Upper Perk this past weekend. So you're starting to get into those rivalries that have been around as long as the pack has been around. So I think those things are a lot of fun. Do I miss Springford, Phoenixville the way it used to be? Sure I do. But I think those teams are they're on different tracks, and they're going out and scheduling teams that are comparable to their school size.
All right. Well, each week we do break down last week's ball games, and we're going to start with the Liberty Division, which is the larger school. And our Liberty Division scoreboard is brought to you by Paul Bauer, an attorney that you can count on. Give Paul a call today for all your law needs or any kind of personal needs you need with a good attorney. And let's talk about that PV Springford game. You were a part of it for a lot of years. I never realized how big of a rivalry game it was until my sons got to Springford and played in that game, and I saw firsthand what it was all like. You certainly know a lot more being on that sideline. It's a heck of a game.
So obviously it's at Perkiomen Valley, it's Ram Week, and it's everywhere. You can go by any middle school team, whether it's a soccer team, field hockey team, and everybody's yelling Ram Week. As a head coach, it's emotionally exhausting. I know over at Springford, they don't call us by name. They call us the Orange and Brown. And I heard a funny story about a kid getting tricked into, he said the word PV and had to do 20 push-ups in his class. So it's a great, great rivalry. It's a lot of fun. I think it's built on two programs that are have been really great the last couple of years, and it's a lot of fun to watch those two tangle. It's always entertaining.
Well, you know, it's one of those games where you circle the calendar, the date on the calendar. I know both sides, both the PV kids and the Springford kids, and obviously the coaches and fans, circle the date on that calendar looking forward to that game.
There's no question about it. It's got a great tradition. I think it goes all the way back to Marty Moore and Scott Furman and those guys tangling together. I think 98, 99, there were some epic battles between the two teams, and it just it went from there. We obviously share a lot of borders with Springford. There's a lot of, the YMCA is right between the two. Yeah. They share a lot of athletes within the baseball youth programs and football youth programs. So those kids grow up knowing each other. And it's like the old Thanksgiving Day rivalries. Right, it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, it was a lot of fun. And over at your place there last Friday night at the Keenan Stadium, it was packed house, which is really a great place to watch a game from these days because the atmosphere, the enthusiasm, the kids out, they're wearing their regalia and all this stuff. That's really helped that game too, is the enthusiasm from the student bodies of both schools.
I think that's what makes the game. The fact that they got to put the marching bands on the track so that the student bodies can fit in the stadium, and they go back and forth, and they go bananas. And it's just, sometimes you just sit there and watch them. And that's the game within the game.
It is.
But it makes for a great, great atmosphere. And I think young kids, whether they're in middle school or youth, they see that and they grow up saying, I want to be a part of this one day.
Yeah. Well, Perk Valley, again, with a big win. Let's get to the game itself now, 28-7 over Springford. I know that's certainly a game that each year that people want to win. It's a big game for each school. But again, Rob Heiss and his gang, your defensive staff really does a nice job. Brendan Schiff, had a big game, sort of did a little bit of everything, and they come out there with a big 21-point win.
Yeah, I think when these two teams get together, the biggest thing that happens is there's these pivotal plays. I think the first pivotal play was the 4th and 1 from the 1. Coach Brubaker elected to go for it. Why not? Let's take a chance to get 6 and come in here and get on top. Could he have gone for the field goal? Sure, that's all second guessing. But that was a big stop for Perkiomen Valley. The second big play to me, which I think was a monster play, was the open field tackle by the kicker to stop DeFrancesco from taking it to the house, which later would have been 14-7. Then Schimpf returns that interception, and all of a sudden we're 21-0.
I know. And Schimpf was our player of the week a few weeks ago after a big win earlier in the year. And what a great kid he is. You know, he's a good student athlete. You talk about the kind of kids that you want to have on your team. I think he certainly is one of those senior leaders for the Vikings.
Yeah, I've obviously had some personal time to be with him. I coached him in 10th grade. We also, at school, our coaching staff runs a fun camp in the summer. He's one of our lifeguards in the pool. He's great with young kids. He truly is a great leader. He's president of our student body, so he's got all the right intangibles.
Well, you know, one of the things also is replacing Steven Sturm was obviously a question mark and a concern for the staff this year in Robbie Heiss. Cole Peterton has really done a nice job in his first year of starting. He's gotten better each week, and I'll tell you what, he's really improving with that program.
Yeah, I think there is time where you got to get used to the speed of the game, especially at the varsity level. Burke Valley came out the gates with a tough schedule. They started off with Downingtown West to Interborough to Penn Ridge to Upper Dublin, so he kind of had to learn under fire.
Yeah.
But I think that defensive staff and that defense where the D-line all came back has really led the way to take some of that pressure off the offense having to score 40 and 50 points a game. And I think Cole's got the right personality, that he's just kind of a laid-back kid who just takes it as it comes, and I think he's just enjoying himself.
Well, he certainly is. I think one of the things that's been overlooked at PV for a couple of years now, because they were so good offensively with Jaworski and Sturm and Williams, was the fact that they played some pretty good defense, too. They held Springford to 7 points. As you mentioned, a big goal line stand there from the 1. So a lot of those guys that haven't really been able to figure out that 3-5-3 that you guys have been playing, and that defense gets looked over sometimes.
Absolutely. It's so funny because we see when, Pottsgrove's playing or Perk Valley's playing or Springford, they get these big numbers, these big scores, and then they get against each other, and all of a sudden it's like 21-14.
Yeah.
These defenses start to show themselves in the biggest games, and you realize what happens. It's not one superstar or this superstar. It's 11 guys with a lot of team speed where those big runs are they're not touchdowns. They're 10-yard gains. And you got to earn it all the way down the field, and you see that a lot.
Well, and A.J. Pergine from Springford, a quarterback with over 1,000 yards already, had a real big year. They kept him in check pretty well as well, but a big win for PV, 28-7. A game that you alluded to a little bit earlier, Scott. Boyertown knocks off O&J. They come back with a horrific fourth quarter. Man, frantic pace, come back from nowhere and end up winning that game on the last-second field goal by a guy by the name of Declan Coyle, who said, last year at this time I'm sitting in the stands watching the game. Now I'm getting mobbed by my teammates. They have a big win at 24-21.
There's no question about it. I think Boyertown's on the rise. I think they got a heartbeat. I got to see them play a couple of weeks ago. I thought their offense was clicking pretty well. They took Perk Valley 2.5 quarters to a tie game, ran out a little bit of steam. They go in and play O&J, who only had 1 loss, and they played them as even as could be. Even though it might have been a comeback, they shared almost mutual first downs. These two teams traded turnovers. Their time of possession was 2 seconds apart. I mean, you couldn't have it more evenly matched. And that's one of those games where sometimes whoever has the ball last wins.
Yeah.
And that was the case. What a great game to be a part of.
Absolutely. And that running back by committee for Boyertown is really starting to work well now with Marcus Thomas and the two Moshes who are really playing well. So now they have their cousin Johnny at PV doing a heck of a job as a young sophomore. And then, of course, Nick and Jamie Moshe for Boyertown doing a heck of a job. Of course, they got Jerry Cap, who is one of the better two-way players in the league.
Well, look at it this way. Moshe ran for 115, but they ran for over 250 yards as a committee between all those backs and the quarterback. Cap had an interception, moves from quarterback to wide receiver. He's making an impact on the outside of the field. So now you're spreading the field from sideline to sideline as you're trying to run that triple option. So you're not just one-dimensional anymore in running that triple option.
Absolutely. And again, a big win for Boyertown and for Coach Miller. All right, guys, let's kind of take a first break of the night here as Scotty and I are going to get a chance to catch our breath and talk a little bit more about the high schools when we come back. But we'll be right back with more here on the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
Fred Beans Ford of Boyertown is located on Route 100, just 2 miles north of Boyertown. Fred Beans Ford provides automotive sales, service, parts, and body shop all in one place. They're open 6 days a week. Fred Beans Ford in Boyertown can be reached at 800-222-0243, 800-222-0243, or online at fredbeans.com.
Doc Watson's is one of the hottest new sports bars around. Located next to Zern's Market in Boyertown, Doc's offers something for everyone. From live entertainment to countless draft beers, from great burgers to the new outside patio, from the numerous TVs to the friendly Doc service. Doc Watson's is the place to be. So stop by Doc's today for a leisurely lunch, a quick cold beer, or a great bite to eat on a nice fall night. Doc Watson's.
Welcome to the office of John H. Greismeyer Jr., where we believe in the value of relationships. We take pride in giving you the assistance you need, where that involves income tax, payroll, or financial statement preparation. Located in Boyertown, we're committed to meeting the needs of the people in our community, and our team of skilled financial professionals look forward to working with you. John H. Greismeyer Jr. Call us or visit our website now.
We're back here live at Doc's Irish Pub over here in Boyertown, and our cheerleaders have arrived to get us all cranked up as we're running a little tailgate, little pregame for the Eagles and the Panthers. The Pottsgrove cheerleaders are in the house. They're getting ready to have some fun as well. We're looking forward to a good time here tonight, Scotty. We got the show kicked off right. We talked about the Liberty Division a little bit. To the smaller schools, which is the Frontier Division. Let's talk about those Pottsgrove Falcons with a big win over Upper Perk, 55-24, and I guess you have to start with the tailback, Rashul Faison.
Yeah, going into that game, obviously that's an intriguing matchup in the Frontier Division. Two teams without a loss in the division. One of the biggest things in that game is obviously Faison's 6 touchdowns, but it's where he did them from. All those touchdowns were over 30 yards. So if you're going to have a shot against Pottsgrove, you're going to have to make him earn his way. And when he's scoring touchdowns at over 30 yards a pop, that's going to be tough to overcome.
Well, he certainly is heartbreaking for the defense. I know even Tom Hahn said at first our kids were even awestruck by how good he is. And if you don't see him play in person, you miss out a lot. I mean, he's such a patient runner, sets up his blocks. And I know Tommy Hahn said he was having a hard time trying to simulate him. As you know, you're running the scout team to try to run Pottsgrove's plays. Nobody can tell you and recreate what Rashul Faison does.
Hey, listen, and he is a great talented back. He's got power, he's got speed, he's got agility. But we all know Coach Pennypacker, his pride and joy is his offensive line. And I don't care what you do. You can talk about simulating Faison in practice, but you cannot simulate what that offensive line does on a Friday night. They, to me, I always said, they're like a snowplow. They get hip to hip, they get as close as they can to each other, and they just try to drive you off the ball. And I'm sure Faison's enjoying that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, he sets up those blockers, and as good as he is, he makes them even better. But you talk about getting off the ball. Pottsgrove always does that, and I know Rick Pennypacker takes a lot of pride there. But again, much like Perk Valley, Pottsgrove's defense sometimes gets overlooked because you're all caught up in Faison's numbers, 350 yards, 6 touchdowns. Cisco with a big bomb to Desmond and some of those things. But defensively, they're really getting after it, too.
We all know that they get in that 3-4, and then they do a whole lot of different looks back in the back end with coverage, and they're confusing. They take that 3-4, they got their safety splitzing from time to time, they got their outside backers splitzing from time to time, always giving you different looks between zone and man. And they fly to the ball. That's one thing they do is just fly to the ball.
And again, you talked about them and some of the things they did. All right, girls, well, listen. Now we just got done talking about the Falcons. How about a quick cheer? One of your quick cheers that we did since Pottsgrove beat Upper Perk. How about a little cheer for us? Y'all set? Go ahead. Boom.
B-E-A-T, Cumberland Falcons beat the Phantoms. B-E-A-T, Cumberland Falcons beat the Phantoms. B-E-A-T, Cumberland Falcons beat the Phantoms.
Yeah, there we go. How about those Pottsgrove girls? Woo! 19, I believe. 19 of the girls are here tonight, and their coaches and stuff. Want to thank them. They got a big game waiting for this week with Phoenixville after a win last week against Upper Perk. Again, Pottsgrove still undefeated, 3-0 in the league, and 7-0 overall. Let's talk a little bit about another team. It's really on the rise, Pope John Paul. Rory Graver doing a heck of a job. The best record in school history, 7-0, 3-0. Actually the #1 seed in District 1 in the 4A, right above Pottsgrove. They have a big win, 35-0 over Upper Marion as well.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think Rory is a great offensive football coach. I know he calls the plays over there. He's got a nice pass game. They commit to the pass game. And you know, a lot of times in high school, having a very consistent pass game makes high school defenses uncomfortable because it's just not something they're used to. High school is usually a run-heavy type of game. We're starting to see a lot more diversity between the spread and the shotgun and the passing the ball around, but he's really done a nice job taking that to the next level. Receivers on timing routes. He has a good quarterback right now, so it'll be interesting to see what they do because they're coming up to the meat and potatoes of their schedule right now. Upper Perk, Pottsgrove, and then Week 10 crossover. We'll see what they're made of.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're going to take another quick break, timeout. When we come back, we're going to have more of the Pottsgrove cheerleaders right here on the Vallejo Stun Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback. Scott and I are going to look at next week's games when we come back right after these words from our sponsors.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
The newly remodeled and renovated Creekside Sports Bar and Grill sits on the Landis Creek Golf Course. Featuring live entertainment and weekly specials, the Creekside offers something for everyone. Discounted beer and wing prices during all Eagles games brings a being at the game feeling. With tailgating, big screen TVs, and wearing your team colors, you can bring the fall spirit to Creekside. So stop by the Creekside Sports Bar and Grill and see all the fun things it has to offer.
Fred Beans Ford of Boyertown is located on Route 100, just 2 miles north of Boyertown. Fred Beans Ford provides automotive sales, service, parts, and body shop all in one place. They're open 6 days a week. Fred Beans Ford in Boyertown can be reached at 800-222-0243, 800-222-0243, or online at fredbeans.com.
Back in 1949, Claude A. Reinhardt founded his family business, which has served the Pottstown and Tri-County area for over 50 years, specializing in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting, paper hanging, and brick restoration. Thanks to the commitment of tradition and values, Claude A. Reinhardt Painters has once again received this year's Reader's Choice Award. So if you're thinking about having an estimate or just need some good advice, give Ron or Keith Reinhardt a call and put your painting and decorating needs in our hands.
Welcome to the office of John H. Greismeyer Jr., where we believe in the value of relationships. We take pride in giving you the assistance you need, where that involves income tax, payroll, or financial statement preparation. Located in Boyertown, we're committed to meeting the needs of the people in our community, and our team of skilled financial professionals look forward to working with you. John H. Greismeyer Jr. Call us or visit our website now.
Hey, we're back here live at Doc's Irish Pub here in Boyertown, PA. The Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Dave Ridenour, joined by my co-host Scotty Reed. Scotty, let's look at the games that are coming up this week, and then we got the Pottsgrove girls ready to cheer us on our way out. Let's look at the Liberty Division first. You talked about Boyertown being a team that's on the rise. They got a tough game down in Springford this weekend.
So obviously they're coming off an emotional win, beating O&J. They're going to go into Springford's homecoming day. That's always a big dog and pony show, but it's a great thing they do in the community. Hey, Springford's coming off an emotional loss. Can they rebound from that Perk Valley loss? They got a lot to play for. Still got the playoffs, the hope for playoffs. Boyertown looking to be a spoiler, looking for that marquee win to take this season out. And build their program going into next year. Should be a great matchup.
Well, PV goes to Norristown. Norristown has struggled this year. On the paper, it looks like a game PV should win, but you never know. Coach Powell got those guys, get them fired up, and here's a chance, as you said, a signature win for the year.
Again, Perk Valley coming off the win of a rivalry game. Again, emotional high. How do you come back to earth? How you go into Norristown on a Saturday. You're off your schedule. We know Norristown can score from different spots in the field. You know, if that game prolongs where Norristown keeps it close, you don't know what can happen.
Added a proverbial trap game for PV maybe. And the last game on the docket, O&J trying to rebound from their tough loss, travels to Methacton, Paul Dupree. We all know they've had a lot of problems down there this year.
Again, if you're Methacton at this point, you're playing week by week. Let's just try to go 1-0. 1-0. Hey, new game on our field. Let's try to go 1-0.
All right, on the other side now, the game the PCTV Network Sports will be at, first time ever, down at PJP on a Saturday afternoon, Upper Perk at PJP. You said, Scotty, before we went on air, you thought that was an interesting game.
Love the matchup because it's two conflicting styles. We have the pass game of Pope John Paul versus the tough, rugged run game, Tommy Hahn's physical style football of Upper Perk. I think this game's going to come down to the defenses. Can PJP keep that run game in order? All right, don't forget, Upper Perk ran the ball very well against Pottsgrove. And if they hold on to the football, they're going to be tough if that time of possession goes up real high and Pope John Paul can't get their passing game going. So on the flip side, let's see what PJP can do with their passing game.
Exactly right.
And see if they can make some big plays.
And defensively, they got to play physical as well. Two teams that have had some tough luck this year. Upper Marion travels to Grigfield and Pottstown under the new lights this year. Both those coaches would love a win Friday night in Pottstown.
It's a great opportunity. I don't care where you are. If you're a kid playing on Friday night, I don't care what the record is. That's the biggest game Friday night because I'm kicking off on that day, on that field, on that night.
All right, and again, the last game is our Pottsgrove Falcons, led by their cheerleaders here, are traveling down to Phoenixville, Washington Field, to take on the Phantoms, coming off a big win on their homecoming game. That should be a good one.
Again, Phoenixville last couple weeks. Let's not forget, their opponents are 28-8. And obviously they're going to go against a 7-win Pottsgrove team. So now it's going to be 35-8, you know, but depending on what happens Friday night. They should be excited about this opportunity. I like this position because you got nothing to lose.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot of fun. Sometimes being a coach, you can do things that you wouldn't normally do that's a little less conventional.
That's the way it is. Again, hey, I want to thank Scott Reed for stopping by. It's always good to talk to him. We got the Pottsgrove cheerleaders ready to take us out for another break. When we come back, we're going to meet the player of the week and his coach right here on the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show. Girls!
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
Doc Watson's is one of the hottest new sports bars around. Located next to Zern's Market in Boyertown, Doc's offers something for everyone. From live entertainment to countless draft beers, from great burgers to the new outside patio, from the numerous TVs to the friendly Doc service. Doc Watson's is the place to be. So stop by Doc's today for a leisurely lunch, a quick cold beer, or a great bite to eat on a nice fall night. Doc Watson's.
Established in 1916 and granted membership into the Philadelphia Golf Association in 1920, Brookside Country Club is well known for its challenging layout and true, fast greens. The William Gordon design provides a challenge for golfers of all abilities. Brookside Country Club offers traditional club amenities in a family-friendly atmosphere. Brookside Country Club, where elegance and excellence are par for the course.
At Vlahos Dunn Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vlahos Dunn Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and we're in your community.
Hey, we're back live at Doc's Irish Pub over here in Boyertown, PA. We have a lot of fun with the Potts Grove cheerleaders. We're getting this crowd psyched up as we're getting ready for the Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. But before that game, we got some business to take care of. I had the player of the week this week. That is John Miller, offensive and defensive lineman from Phoenixville, and his coach in his fourth year, Evan Brisplatt from Phoenixville. Guys, congratulations and thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Well, Evan, let's start with you a little bit. Now, last year you came in and we had talked in some of our meetings and things, and you were excited about the team. You had some real nice players. You had Garcia. You had this big guy here. You had some other skill guys. A little disappointing. You go to your all-season. What's your plan in the all-season? What are you hoping to accomplish getting ready for this year coming up?
Well, we start in the weight room. I mean, the weight room is the most important thing in a football program. And we're in there 3 to 4 days a week. And then we take it to spring ball, where we get on the football field and work on our fundamentals, take that into the summer, keep building and building to get to August when the season's ready to start.
Well, no, John obviously is one of the leaders of the team, an all-league caliber player on both sides of the ball. You accept the leadership role. What was it like for you in the all-season trying to get the guys together to rally for this year?
It was pretty fun. We have a great group of kids. We all work hard in the weight room. And the kids that did show up like this offseason, you saw drastic improvement as the season's going on. And not only like improvement on the football field, but injury prone. The weight room is always a good thing for that.
Yeah, I know you have had some issues with injuries over the years, Evan, and now through this weight training, and I know you're big on the fitness, you're moving the tires around and things. Have you seen the benefits of that program?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have 2 1,500-pound club members on our offensive line, which is pretty awesome. A lot of the guys made the 1,000-pound club, 1,250 club. We put a big emphasis on those clubs, give out awards for those clubs. And all those guys right now that really worked hard in the weight room are pretty healthy at this point. Unfortunately, there are some times where even the best physical guys in shape get nicked up, and we had 2 big injuries this year. TJ Hine was one of our backup linemen that really helped in the rotation. And Bobby Strunk got hurt for us, and since he's been back, that's why things have been picking up. So unfortunately, we got Bobby back.
Well, you know, one of the leaders on both sides of the football then too, John. How do you approach some of the younger guys? I know you had a few starters back from last year, Sabo and yourself, some of the guys that have had some experience. But how do you work with those guys to get them to be ready for games?
It's pretty much just giving my experience and like how I have to play. and kind of talking them up. Like, we're all high school players. I mean, one may be better than the other, but like in the end, we're all 18, 17-year-old kids, so you just got to go at it.
You know, last year you had Rauschman, you had Garcia, you had some kids who could make some plays for you. Obviously, there's some concerns on filling in for those guys, but it looks like your quarterback, young Connor Patania, and Pinella have really done a pretty nice job for you so far.
Yeah, we graduated some really good skill positions, and we were nervous about that. However, we may be better overall as an offense this year. We brought in Zion Small, who's a terrific athlete that hasn't played football in 3 years. We were able to build a relationship with him, bring him in, and he might be the most dangerous two-way player in our league. Dorian County also came back to the football program. He's certainly a dangerous wide receiver out there. And the junior backfield, Pinella, Washington, and Connor Patania, they've been awesome. And they've grown throughout the year, and they keep getting better and better.
Well, you know, I know there's also some times now, and I guess Phoenixville is considered one of the smaller schools in the area with Pottstown and Upper Marion. How do you get some guys to come out? Do you have guys that you know that could be playing football, John? How do you approach that to try to help get these kids to come out and sacrifice to play?
I mean, all I can really do is talk to them, give them my personal experiences. Really just going to school, you got to become friends with the kids first, get them like into the sport, bring them out, like show them the environment. And if they don't like dig the environment, obviously it's not for them, but like sometimes it works out and they'll come join the program.
How's the school enthusiasm? Can you feel it in the hallway? I mean, is there a lot of support for you guys?
Definitely on Friday nights, our student section is always pretty big. They're always very supportive. Even when we get down or like we're down by a good bit, they're always there cheering us on. It's a good atmosphere. I like it.
All right, well, let's talk about last week. Part of the reason why you're here tonight, John, is you had Pottstown, a team in a similar situation as you, wins and loss-wise. They were looking for a big game. However, you came out after they scored first and really turned it up. Tell us about some of the keys for that game, Evan.
Yeah, like Scott mentioned earlier, we've had a really tough schedule. The teams that we played are all caliber playoff teams. And PJP found out how good we were when we were healthy, and they're a good football team. And we battled them, and that game could have went either way. We felt like Pottstown was an up-and-coming team with a lot of young guys. And we knew that our line could dominate in that game if they played the right way. And the game plan was to run the football right at them. If they can't stop us, then that was going to be what was going to win the game for us. And defensively, we've been getting better. PJP scored 28, and then 31 in the overtime, but they were coming in averaging 35 a game, and that wasn't a cakewalk for them scoring on us. So defensively, we're getting better, and the Pottstown we established where our strengths are, and that's our offensive line with the three captains on it.
Well, obviously you have to prepare for both sides of the football. Let's talk a little bit about offensively. Pinella's doing a nice job. He's gained over 100 yards again in a couple of scores. How do you get yourself ready for those games on Friday nights? What do you do personally?
I watch a good bit of film. I size up my opponents. Like this week, I'm watching a lot of DN work. I know their DNs are very well, and their two interior guys are big and strong. So I just focus on that during practice. We try to, as best we can, evenly match it, compared to what they do. And so just going into practice, I know the mindset of, what they do, their moves, if they, lead something a different way. And I just play off of that pretty much.
Defensively now as well, I mean, it's amazing how much film the kids watch today. Back in my day, we had a little 16 millimeter film, and it would jump all over. You could barely see and make out the numbers. But you guys really watch a lot of film and try to pick up tendencies. Defensively now, obviously you want to know what they're going to do offensively against you.
Well, we already know what Pottsgrove is going to do offensively. They have Fajon, probably one of the better running backs in the state. They're going to try to run the ball, and our objective is to try to stop him. We have a lot of things going this week, and we hope to do that.
All right. Well, let's talk about Pottsgrove now. You have your big win. You're a little bit excited now. It's going to be your homecoming game against the Falcons, and the cheerleaders are all cranked up already, Coach. I tell you, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Obviously, you're going against Rick Pennypacker and what he's been able to do for 29 years. Tradition at Pottsgrove. Obviously, it's a big game for you, Evan.
Yeah, Rick Pennypacker, Hall of Fame football coach, a guy I admire, and he's been a great mentor to me. And obviously, Pottsgrove is as big and bad as they come, as fast as they come. They're both good as offense as they are on defense. Quite a challenge, and to have them for homecoming, you know, it's going to be a tough challenge for us. Like Scott said, we got nothing to lose. And we're always going to give our best and have some tricks up our sleeve for them, maybe.
Well, Neil Olkowitz, one of the best players ever to come out of Phoenixville, sitting back there. He's in the audience, and maybe he can suit up for you or just give you a pointer to a Hall of Famer and one of the top 70 Redskins of all time.
He'd be great to have with us, and, you know, he's always welcome.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about now. You know, the Potts Grove gang is all fired up now. They got your name. And I know you got a little personal battles with some of the linemen. You know, you want some recognition as well. So tell us a little bit about your mindset getting ready for tomorrow night.
Be as physical as possible. There's guys up front are strong, physical, aggressive. I know they're going to come out hard, but last year it was a battle back and forth between the line. You know, we had Garcia, they had Fajon, both ran for over 200 yards. So I really think it's going to be a battle of the trenches. And our guys are, I think, match up pretty well against them if we can be as physical and as aggressive as them.
And I got turnovers also, getting off to a good start, Evan. I'm sure that's part of your mindset and game plan as well, as you have a big game tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, last year that's what happened. We got a couple of turnovers early, and we were able to take a 24-14 halftime lead against them. Unfortunately for us, Potts Grove answered the bell in the second half and played like true champions. We have to have the same kind of effort and cause some turnovers and stop Faison at some point during the game.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have as much enthusiasm from your gang down there as the Potts Grove girls provide for their players, as well as they're cranked up and ready to go. But it should be interesting. It should be a good game. I know you guys are looking forward to it. John, good luck in all your battles inside with Janaszek and some of those studs. You know, Hurt Ramsey, those guys can really play a little bit, and obviously Faison. Well, I want to thank my guys from the Complete Graphics, my guys down there on High Street, stop in to see the Ritwich boys. And I want to give you this certificate, John, which identifies you as the Player of the Week for the Monday Morning Quarterback. And my old buddy Charlie Pierce from the Trophy and Plaque Shack, even though it's a little running back, we'll give that to you anyway. As a big lineman in there. That's our Player of the Week. John Miller from Phoenixville. Everybody, let's give him a round of applause as our Player of the Week. And Evan Brisblatt as well for Phoenixville. Good luck tomorrow night, guys, and have a good game.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. You girls ready? You got something for us? Let's go.
Falcons, Nation, Maroon and White Sensation. Falcons, Nation, Maroon and White Sensation. Falcons, Nation, Maroon and White Sensation.
Stay tuned for more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
At Vlahos Dunn Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vlahos Dunn Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and we're in your community.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
Back in 1949, Claude A. Reinhardt founded his family business, which has served the Pottstown and Tri-County area for over 50 years, specializing in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting, paper hanging, and brick restoration. Thanks to the commitment of tradition and values, Claude A. Reinhardt Painters has once again received this year's Reader's Choice Award. So if you're thinking about having an estimate or just need some good advice, give Ron or Keith Reinhardt a call and put your painting and decorating needs in our hands.
The newly remodeled and renovated Creekside Sports Bar and Grill sits on the Landis Creek Golf Course. Featuring live entertainment and weekly specials, the Creekside offers something for everyone. Discounted beer and wing prices during all Eagles games brings a being at the game feeling. With tailgating, big screen TVs, and wearing your team colors, you can bring the fall spirit to Creekside. So stop by the Creekside Sports Bar and Grill and see all the fun things it has to offer.
Hey, we're back here live at Doc's Irish Pub, the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday morning quarterback show. We got the Pottsgrove Falcon cheerleaders over here doing a heck of a job. I'm sure those Fiendsville guys they're going to be fired up tomorrow night, but I'm sure you'll have your guys ready as well. And a guy who's used to all this kind of fanfare and everything and cheerleading, Mr. James Coleman, NFL referee, number 95, is in the house. James, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Your girls went to Pottsgrove, right?
Yep, that's right.
That's
yep.
right. They
Falcons
played.
all the way.
That's it. Falcons all the way.
Yeah. Out of championship, last one, basketball.
That's it. Girls basketball. I remember them. Oh, they were fun to watch. Yeah, all of them. Yeah. Well, good to see you. You know, we like to normally get a chance to talk to you every year. Right. This year is certainly no exception. 2017, they're fresh into a new season at the quarter mark. How's everything going? What's new around the league? Anything good?
No, everything's going well. You know, a lot of excitement, a lot of things going on. You know, you guys are watching the game and all that. But the games are fun. You know, our crew had some great games the past 3 games. We've had come down to like the last player going into overtime, a game last week. So our crew, we're having fun. It's been an enjoyable season.
Well, you did a Monday night game at Kansas City a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a fun game to work.
Fun game. I'm sure that's a great crowd in the
Oh yeah,
to work.
Loud. I love going to Kansas City to work. The fans there are great. You know, Andy's doing well. The team's doing well, and you know they had a good game against Kansas City that came down to the end. So
yeah, that's a fun place, and unfortunately it wasn't too cold out there yet.
Yeah, exactly.
It can get pretty cold out there.
Yeah, it got in early, so hopefully they won't have to go back.
Well, you know, I was looking up some stuff about you today again, and I saw that you got banged up a little bit down in Carolina.
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about that.
I had a coach that snuck out in the whites behind me, and you know, during the game, and I'm going back. I had no idea he was there. Ran into it, you know, hit the ground, kind of hit my head on the ground, and had to go into the concussion protocol.
Yeah, concussion protocol. That's amazing.
Just like the players.
I mean, people think that that's a non-contact thing, but you referees are in the action.
Yeah, exactly. So
and you get a lot of work running back and forth.
Yeah. So I was unfortunate, you know, incident. Cost them 15 yards, but cost me half of a game. Yeah.
So you had to sit out the rest of the game.
Yeah, because they went. Yeah, they did the concussion thing and thought that I had a mild.
Did you have a concussion or no?
A mild concussion. That's what they said. You know, and I think I had more whiplash than anything because my neck, and in fact, my neck's still a little bit, just a little bit sore. But other than that, I was okay. I got released the following week. Had to go through all the tests and all that to get cleared.
Well, as an ex-football player, you used to that contact.
Yeah, exactly.
And I said to you off air, I said, I know your pop would have been proud of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Back up. Because he was your coach, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was my coach.
Yeah. Down in Arkansas.
Down in Arkansas.
Yeah, he would have been proud of you. Yeah. Well, I got to ask you this question because I know we've been talking about it every year when we have it. Have you figured out what a catch is yet?
No.
Because every time I watch pro games and they're reviewing and checking, they don't know what a catch is yet. What?
Go with my gut. Go with our gut and all that. And you know, if they have to go and review it, then that's what happens.
Now, does that bother referees when they review a call that is yours?
Not at all.
No.
I mean, I think catch, no catch is actually this year they've been a lot more consistent than in other years. So there have been a lot of replays where they've gone in and overturned. They're trying to go with what we call on the field rather than second guess us and run things back, back and forth in slow motion.
Well, that's why I've always said I'm not a big proponent of instant replay, and you and I have talked about this before. It's a game played by human beings, refereed by human beings. Yeah. So there's got to be the human error.
Exactly. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
This makes it
I
fun.
missed a call, but I would say 90 to 95% of the time, you guys are right on the money and get yourself in position and see the play.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Get yourself in position, see it, and make the call, and if they want to replay it, so be it. Yeah.
Now, what was any points of emphasis? Because normally when you go into a year, whether it's through the Players Association or the owners or whatever, they have some things that they're going to try to work on.
It's still about safety. Hits, yeah. And I don't know if you notice and you watch the games, the hits to the head and the helmet area, right, way down now, and that's still what they want to concentrate on to continue to get that high hit and those helmet hits out the game, to eliminate those concussions and all that, and continue to make the game safe.
Well, I was watching, speaking of that, I was watching, I guess it was the Green Bay game where Devontae Adams got hit.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the type of stuff that you just got to completely get out.
Yeah,
and the majority of the players are making a concerted effort, to go low, not hit up there, but every now and then you have plays like that.
Well, I said you were a player and so was I, and I never ran as fast as they do, but I would think running to the football has got to be tough when they're moving, going down.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a difference between a spear, what we used to call a spear, and some of those helmet-to-helmets.
Right, exactly. Yep, absolutely.
I know that they're trying to make the game safer. College is really getting to be something else. They're getting that helmet-to-helmet and they're kicking out players,
exactly.
at targeting rule and stuff. And I'm sure you watch some college games.
Yeah, I do. I watch a lot of college games. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because I grade for the Big Ten and for the ACC, so I watch a lot of college football during the week. And I see all of that.
And that's still a good game too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that college football game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we talked about some of the stadiums. We talked about Arrowhead Stadium. What are some of the other places you really enjoy going and refereeing games at, James?
Seattle.
Do you?
Seattle.
That's a noisy
noisy place. Denver's nice. Love Pittsburgh. The Eagles, when I get a home game. Every now and then, but when I do get their game in from home, I always love having a home game. I like going up to New York, up in the Giants here in the Meadowlands, Giants and Jets. That's a fun stadium. It can get loud, up there. I don't know how loud it's going to get this year.
That's what I said. And your old neighbor, your buddy Teddy Chicho, big Giants fan. I ain't heard too much of him this year.
Yeah, I know. He's pretty quiet. You won't hear anything from him. No, he's done now.
Yeah, those Giants fans are a little quiet right now. But it's interesting to see. And I guess you follow the game outside of when you're working there too.
I do.
The Eagles are 4-1 and the Cowboys are struggling a little bit. So, and I'm sure you can't have a favorite team.
And I don't.
But you like to watch them.
I'm aware of what's going on, especially as the season progresses, because we may end up having, those teams later on. I'm sure that we will. And we haven't had the Eagles yet this year. There's some other teams that are doing well that we haven't had yet, so I'm sure that we'll end up having them.
So you can actually scout a little bit while you're watching the games.
Yeah, we do that. We scout the teams. I mean, every week we know their tendencies. It's like they scout us, we scout them also.
Now, if you go into a game, say a team, say for instance New England, who throws the ball a lot more, and maybe some of a running team that runs the ball more. Do you approach it the same way, or do you look for things?
Like the Monday night game that we had in Kansas City, both of those teams, threw the ball around a lot. So we do that. So we know when we have teams like that, myself being a downfield official and other officials, we're going to have a busy night. So there's a lot that we need to look at and stay on top of it.
And you start getting ready when you arrive at the games. You get there Friday or Saturday?
No, we get in Saturday morning, and then we have a meeting on Saturday that lasts 2.5 to 3 hours. And that's when, we look at our training tapes, the films, look at the scouting tape on the teams and all of that, do tests and kind of prepare ourselves and get ready.
You don't meet with the teams per se,
though. No, we don't.
You don't talk to any coach. The coaches don't come. Like they have. I know they have the meetings with the TV crews and stuff like that.
Yeah, but we talk to the coaches not on Saturday, but when we get to the stadium on Sunday. 90 minutes before kickoff, we go and meet with not all of us, but like I go and meet with the visiting teams, head coach, 2 of us, and we talk to them. They give us their captains, maybe any concerns that they might have from, watching the other teams and, vice versa. And then we take that back and talk about it as a crew prior to kickoff. And then if there's certain things going on around the league that maybe like the special team coaches need to know, I'll find them and go and talk to them prior to let them know, well, you guys are doing this, or you need to stop this. So it just kind of depends from week to week.
And I'm sure that there are some teams, coaches that are more receptive than others, that you have a pretty good relationship with most of the guys.
Yeah, well, all the coaches are, they're receptive. They, some of them may just nod their head and move on.
Right.
But then there's others that, they're very appreciative. And you know who you can talk to and who you can't, but they all listen and, I think they're taking it in, and just sometimes they don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, especially as they get ready for the big games.
Right, exactly.
And all the pressure.
Yeah, they're all, they're tense. You can tell these guys are wound tight. Some of the players are wound tight, and it's just the competitiveness that they have. So you do your job, let them know what's going on, and then you get out of there.
Well, obviously the wide receiver position is certainly one of a glory spot now.
Yep.
A lot of great athletes, some big guys now.
Right, exactly.
So the game has changed there a little bit. Has that changed the way you approach things now with the size and the grace of these big guys?
Oh yeah, well, most of the big receivers are physical, so they're gonna, especially hands and all that, and they'll try to get away with as much as they can, especially with the push-offs and all that. And they know what we can see sometimes, what we can't. So they'll push us to the limit. So we're constantly having to work to adjust our game to see. And it's all about judgment and how much you think is enough and how much you don't think is enough. If there was an advantage game and all that.
But I'm sure it's pretty cool with the Larry Fitzgeralds and the veterans who have been classy guys for a long time.
It's always good to see those guys. I mean, the majority of the league, the majority of those players, these guys are all, pretty class acts, and you just enjoy talking to them and seeing them.
Yeah, and then of course, obviously, you got the injuries now. Odell Beckham out with the season. It's a tough break for the Giants and for himself, and those guys. Well, you know what, James, it's always great to talk to you. You're always welcome, man. Make sure you stay in touch. Send me a text, and we'll get you on air and find out what's going on. But where are you at next? What do you have coming up?
I'm actually off this weekend.
Okay, you're off this weekend.
Yeah, my crew is working this weekend, but I got rotated out because we have swing officials. Like, last year I was a swing guy and I was with a different crew, but I'm back on the crew this year, but we have somebody else that's working the swing, so I get to stay home this week and get paid. Okay,
that's nice. Now, do you know where you're going the next week? Or
yeah, I'm in Miami the following week,
nice.
and then Tampa the following week.
Well, don't forget your sunscreen when you get down to Miami.
Yeah, you got that right. No, I will have it. That's right. I'm ready.
And it's funny, when you and I first met down in Florida, you were getting ready for the bowl game, and we met at one of our fun night spots.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had a great time, James, and I'll never forget that night, and it was a good time. But you certainly did a heck of a job working your way up and getting in there. We're all proud of you in the Pottstown area. That's James Coleman. He wears number 95. He's a side judge, a back judge, a field judge. He does it all in the NFL. We want to thank James for stopping by. Girls, you want to take us out for a minute here?
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Key Bank, the official bank of the Monday Morning Quarterback. Get to know Key, your local, responsible, award-winning bank. Brookside Country Club, where elegance and excellence are par for the course.
At Vlahos Dunn Insurance, we understand what moves people in business and in life, and we use this knowledge to better serve our clients. And we bring the same work ethic and commitment to our business as our customers do theirs. Vlahos Dunn Insurance, providing quality coverage to the Tri-County area since 1994. So call our knowledgeable staff.
Hi, I'm Jim Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and we're in your community.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
Fred Beans Ford of Boyertown is located on Route 100, just 2 miles north of Boyertown. Fred Beans Ford provides automotive sales, service, parts, and body shop all in one place. They're open 6 days a week. Fred Beans Ford in Boyertown can be reached at 800-222-0243, 800-222-0243, or online at fredbeans.com.
Welcome to the office of John H. Greismeyer Jr., where we believe in the value of relationships. We take pride in giving you the assistance you need, where that involves income tax, payroll, or financial statement preparation. Located in Boyertown, we're committed to meeting the needs of the people in our community, and our team of skilled financial professionals look forward to working with you. John H. Greismeyer Jr. Call us or visit our website now.
We're going to end. The girls have to get home and do their homework, so they have to get back on the bus to go back. But we're going to thank you guys for coming. You were a lot of fun. Let's end with one more cheer before you have to go.
Are you proud to be a Falcon? Yes, we are. Are you proud to be a Falcon? Yes, we are. Are you proud to be a Falcon? Yes, we are.
Well, they got a big game on Friday, tomorrow night at Phoenixville. Root them in, gang. Thanks again. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I can't imagine Pottsgrove losing tomorrow night to Phoenixville now with the girls all excited about that. That's fun stuff, Bigsy, isn't it?
Sure is.
That is. It's
Can't
really
beat high
good.
school football.
Well, I tell you what, I got a couple of my buddies, some of my sponsors that have been good to me and good to the Monday Morning Quarterback for a long time. Jimmy Vlahos down there on the end from Vlahos Dunn Insurance, and Ronnie Batara, everyone knows him as Biggs, from the Clean Cut Lawn Service, who again, you know, your papa was as big a part of this show as anybody else, you know.
He's probably watching right now.
He probably is. I hope he is.
Yeah, he
I
is.
know your sister and brother-in-law are out there as well. But you know what? Let's talk a little bit about the Eagles. The Eagles with a big win, Bigsy. I know. Are you still a season ticket guy? You still going down?
38 years.
38 years a season ticket holder. 4-1 the Eagles are. Big win over Arizona. What was it like down at the stadium?
Oh, it was great, man. We had a good time. Susie and I ended up going. We went a little early and got inside, and we had a great time, man. And the fans were great. Everybody's happy when they're winning.
Well, yeah,
Can't
when they're
beat it.
winning, it's really a whole different thing. But I guess
Can't
it's a lot
beat
of fun down there.
It really is. It really is.
Well, Jimmy, you know, I know that you've been going back and forth. You got a little place down in Maryland that you go to and stuff, but you get a chance to watch the games. Obviously, the Eagles are making a lot of fun for the area.
Yeah, they are. They are. And, you know, every once in a while they'll show the game, but when the Ravens are playing, they won't show the game.
Right. They get the
So,
local
you
call
know, we
down
can't
there.
catch it. So.
Yeah. But you get a chance to.
But we
read
caught
up.
it this past weekend.
It's all this weekend. Again, big win for the Eagles over Arizona. You know, and it's been, tell me a little bit about the atmosphere down there. Kenyon Barner comes back, replaces Sproles.
Great
Sproles
punt return.
was certainly one of the biggest guys on the team as far as production. Now they have that big punt return and get the Eagles all jacked up.
Got him started, man. That was a great punt return. We watched it from our end zone. He went the other way, so we got a great look at it. It was fun.
Or you can see the holes open up and see where he's going.
It looked like he was going to be stopped, and then he juked, and I thought he was going to take it all the way. I don't know what stopped him, but it was good. good return.
Absolutely. Now, you know, and Jimmy, you know, in our area, it makes it a lot of fun too. We go to the East End Club and watch the games and do some things with our buddies, and it's so much more fun when the Eagles are winning and have a good team like they do now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You know, it's funny. Carson Wentz is only in his second year. There was concerns about him. He came from a smaller school. Was he going to be ready? But I'm sure the Eagles fans are cranked about him.
Well, you know, a lot of people are saying he's like Peyton Manning with athleticism. You know what I mean? He's a student of the game. He studies all the time. He's always well prepared. He's the real deal.
He really is.
He's the real deal.
He's able to run. And the thing I like too is they're running the ball now. You know, they got the Garrett Blunt more involved in the offense. They sort of were one-dimensional. Now they're running the football and trying to make the other teams play both run and pass. Well, you know, the thing that gets me is how are the fans down there with Nelson Aguilar? Now last year they wanted to run him out. Now he's making some decent plays.
They're cheering him on. You know, I think with Jordan Matthews gone and Aguilar getting all the reps in training camp, I think he got comfy, and I think he looks good. You know, he's got more confidence.
Well, he had a big 72-yard touchdown reception.
He looked good, man.
On Sunday, and you know, it's amazing to me to see how these guys are. And Jimmy, it's fun when they open up the offense too and throwing the balls around.
Oh yeah.
Exciting for the fans to watch and see what's going that way. But, you know, defensively, they without Fletcher Cox the last couple of games, they're still able to do some things.
Yeah, without Fletcher, without Darby, Hicks went out one game. So everybody just filling in really well.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. Again, you know, I was talking to the high school coaches that sometimes when your offense is doing well and prolific, your defense gets overlooked. But the Eagles' defense really has doing well. Holding a team to 7 points in the NFL is a heck of a feat.
Really good.
Yeah. Well, you know, each week, guys, we have a segment on our show called The Game Ball. The Game Ball is brought to us by my man, Paul Strauss, at the Styling Room. He's another longtime supporter of the show. He's been around ever since we started. I don't think I ever did a show without Paul Strauss being a part of it. And this week is no different. We want to have an opportunity to give away our game ball. Jimmy, do you have anybody in mind that you want to give your game ball to?
You know, the only person that comes up to me is Carson Wentz. That's it. He's it.
Carson Wentz.
After his game on Sunday, it was unbelievable.
4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He did a heck of a job, particularly starting off that first quarter pretty good. Biggie, what do you have?
I would give it to the offensive line, man. Those guys are really playing well, too. They're protecting him. They're running the ball better. I think they're really playing together as a unit, especially with taking those guards in and out.
I know. That's unusual.
That's very unusual, but it's working for them.
And then when Lane Johnson went out with his head injury, and they brought the Big V back in at right tackle.
And he did well.
Yeah, he didn't miss a beat there as well. So it's good to have some depth. You know, the guys go down in the NFL, man. You have to have some depth.
You really do.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers. I know my good friend Renee Okowitz is out there, and Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback on her fantasy team, and she's always yelling at Aaron Rodgers to do some things, but his fourth quarter comeback win over the Dallas Cowboys, which was even sweeter when they beat the Cowboys, but a big 35-31 win over the Dallas Cowboys as well. So that's a big win for Green Bay and also throws the Cowboys down a little bit. We also have a segment on our show called By the Numbers. By the Numbers is brought to you by my good friend John Griesmer, my accountant and tax man. He does a great job. And one of the things I wanted to bring out was the fact is that Leonard Fournette, one of the rookie running backs, had 181 yards last week, and he is doing a heck of a job. By the Numbers, not only for his team, but for those fantasy people as well. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick timeout. We come back. I got the Big Frank question for you, Bigsy.
There you go.
See how you are on point with that. We have our 5-pack picks to go and some other things as we're getting this crowd ready for the Eagles and the Panthers right here on the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show.
For more Monday Morning Quarterback right after this.
So you're officially married. Congrats! It's time to combine things. Your last names, your toothbrush holders, and your health insurance. When you combine policies, you can save and live happily ever after financially. Use the red key for more money-saving tips. Find yourself impulse buying uncontrollably? Here's a tip from Ben Franklin. Carry me in your wallet. Big bills are harder to give up. The next time you're tempted to impulse buy, you might not want to break a Benjamin. Use the red key and save.
The newly remodeled and renovated Creekside Sports Bar and Grill sits on the Landis Creek Golf Course. Featuring live entertainment and weekly specials, the Creekside offers something for everyone. Discounted beer and wing prices during all Eagles games brings a being at the game feeling. With tailgating, big screen TVs, and wearing your team colors, you can bring the fall spirit to Creekside. So stop by the Creekside Sports Bar and Grill and see all the fun things it has to offer.
Fred Beans Ford of Boyertown is located on Route 100, just 2 miles north of Boyertown. Fred Beans Ford provides automotive sales, service, parts, and body shop all in one place. They're open 6 days a week. Fred Beans Ford in Boyertown can be reached at 800-222-0243, 800-222-0243, or online at fredbeans.com.
Back in 1949, Claude A. Reinhardt founded his family business, which has served the Pottstown and Tri-County area for over 50 years, specializing in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting, paper hanging, and brick restoration. Thanks to the commitment of tradition and values, Claude A. Reinhardt Painters has once again received this year's Reader's Choice Award. So if you're thinking about having an estimate or just need some good advice, give Ron or Keith Reinhardt a call and put your painting and decorating needs in our hands.
Welcome to the office of John H. Greismeyer Jr., where we believe in the value of relationships. We take pride in giving you the assistance you need, where that involves income tax, payroll, or financial statement preparation. Located in Boyertown, we're committed to meeting the needs of the people in our community, and our team of skilled financial professionals look forward to working with you. John H. Greismeyer Jr. Call us or visit our website now.
Hey, we're back here live at Doc's Irish Pub in Boyertown, PA, which is always a lot of fun. We were inside tonight. We had hoped to be outside, but the weather was a little iffy, half rain, half cold. We decided to bring it inside and have a lot of fun. Had a lot of great fun with Evan Briskblatt and John Miller, Scotty Reed filling in for Coach Mick, James Coleman, and of course the Pottsgrove cheerleaders were a lot of fun here, helped to get the crowd into this game. Two of my good friends and good sponsors, Ron Vitara of the Clean Cut Lawn Service and Jimmy Vlahos of Vlahos Dunn Insurance up here with me as we break down some of the more stuff. But before we get any further, Biggsy, I got to give you the Big Frank question now. The Big Frank question of the week brought to you by Ronnie Vitara and the Clean Cut. We have a question every week. I usually try to get Joe C. It was so great when your dad was still living, and he'd watch that show, and he'd ask Booty for the answer. Everybody. He wanted to get that answer. He won more pizzas than anybody in the history of the show. It was a lot of fun, and one of my best memories was when Joe and I went down and watched a Monday night game with him. Yeah, the Eagles and the Redskins, and Michael Vick went crazy. We had pizzas, and that was an awesome experience. All right, well, here we go, Biggsy. This is up for you. I know the insurance man won't know the answer to this, so we're not going to embarrass him. But David Akers was a longtime kicker for the Eagles. A storied career. Who was his first holder when he started extra points and field goals? Who was the first guy that held for him? I'll let you think about it for a little bit. But who was the first holder for David Akers when he first started kicking for the Philadelphia Eagles? Pretty interesting answer when we get it going. But again, you know, it's a lot of things happening. The Eagles are doing well at 4-1. Big game tonight. Jimmy, you know, a lot of people talk about must-wins and we got to win some games. You know, how do you look at this game tonight when they're playing Carolina?
Well, the Panthers had a heck of a game last week. So I really would like to see the Eagles pull this one off.
Well, they got to start winning some games on the road, too.
They got to win.
They've been really good at home the last couple of years. And Carson Wentz's tenure there as a quarterback, their home record is great. They lost at Kansas City, which was a good football game. Kansas City still undefeated. What do you think, Bigsy, about winning tonight? Is it a must-win for them or no?
I don't know if it's a must-win, but if they do win, it would be a signature win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think people will give them the respect that a 5-1 team would get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you see all these power rankings now in the NFL.com and this book and this. They have them either at second or third behind Kansas City for the power rankings. So they are starting to get some more respect countrywide, not only in Philadelphia, which we all know about the Philadelphia fans. So I said, with Dallas at 2-3 and the Redskins at 2-2, the Eagles have a little bit of wiggle room there. I don't know if it's a must-win as well, but I think if they win, they're on a good path for the playoffs, which hopefully they all get.
Carolina's defense is tough. If they can, they have good linebackers and a really good defensive line. Julius Peppers is playing out of his mind for he's got to be 30, 38 or 39 or something. But if they get by this game, man, they could be smooth sailing.
Well, Luke Kuechly, one of the linebackers.
He's good.
And Davis, the other linebacker.
Tom Day, or whatever his name is. Yep.
He's really good as well. And of course, Cam Newton is sort of a roller
coaster. He's always tough.
Yeah, he's got some great skills and some good. And he's a guy, Jimmy, that if he breaks the pocket, you got to be careful because he can really run it for a big guy as
he's a big
well.
boy.
All right, well, I'm going to give you another minute or so to think about that, the Big Frank question, and then I'm going to get an answer from you. And if you don't know it, I'll certainly fill you in on that one.
You might have to give me a clue.
Well, the clue, I'll give you a clue. The current Philadelphia Eagles. I'll give you that clue. Current Philadelphia Eagles will be the clue that I'm going to give you.
Wow. Okay.
You have
narrowed it down. I'm going to say Doug Peterson.
It is Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is the answer to the Big Frank's question. He is the current coach of the Eagles. He was a quarterback.
Because I was trying to think of the backup quarterback. I figured that's
Doug
where you were
Peterson.
going. But
There you go. Backup quarterbacks and punters used to hold a lot for the kickers, but Doug Peterson was his first holder.
Big Frank Googled that for me, sent it down to me.
He did. As he's watching from up above, we're going to try to get you a pizza or something for that. All right, guys, well, listen, we're going to end up the show with our 5-pack picks here, which is always a fun part of the show. And our 5-pack picks are sponsored by Izzy's on Third, part of the Docs gang here. We also have Izzy's on Third, which is a good time as well. All right, so we have our 5-pack picks. Let's start with Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Jimmy, Pittsburgh at Kansas City.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about Roethlisberger, so I'm going to have to go with Kansas City on that one.
Okay. You're going to be the star guy.
I'm going to go out of the box and take Pittsburgh. They need a win.
And I'm going for Pittsburgh, too. I do think, though, their karma hasn't been good lately. They've had some issues with the pregame stuff and all that carrying on, which nobody wants to get into and talk about because it detracts from the game, which we try to go and see entertainment for a couple hours. Get yourself away. Exactly. Get yourself away from all the craziness that's going on in our world today. But I'm going to jump on Pittsburgh, too. I think they do need a win. Kansas City undefeated. They can afford to maybe lose a game, but certainly look pretty good, Jimmy. I tell you, Alex Smith right now is playing as good as any quarterback in the NFL. So Andy Reid's got those guys in pretty good shape. The next game is the Rams at Jacksonville. Big Z, we'll let you go first on this one. The upstart Rams doing a pretty good job.
I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
You're going with Jacksonville?
Yep.
All right, you're the check mark. Jacksonville playing pretty well of late. Spanked around Pittsburgh last week. Jimmy, who do you like?
I'd have to take Jacksonville after last week. They had a great game.
I'm going to go Jacksonville, too. The Rams coming across country down into Florida, although they have improved a lot. Jared Goff finally looks like he belongs in the NFL.
Looks good.
And their coach is doing a pretty good job, Sean McVay, out there in his first year. Now, all of a sudden, we have two teams at 3-2. It's an interesting ball game. New England, which dominated the AFC East for years, and the Jets are both tied at 3-2. They're going to New York. Now, do the Jets have enough to beat them or not? I don't know. Jimmy, we'll start with you.
You know what? I'll take Brady.
Okay.
I'll take New England.
I'm going to try the Jets.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's give him a try.
Going out
Yeah.
on a limb there for that. Well, I got to go New England. I can never bet against them. I like Belichick and Brady, probably the best winning combination, coach and quarterback ever in the history of the NFL. But it is interesting now that the Jets seem to have a chance. Yeah, they won the last couple games. They've kind of been doing it with smoke and mirrors, but they're 3-2 at home. You know, we'll see what happens.
Never know.
Now, here's a sort of an interesting game. Detroit and New Orleans, two teams that have sort of been up and down this year. Matthew Stafford for Detroit, Drew Brees for New Orleans. Certainly two of the elite quarterbacks in the league. Biggsy, we'll let you go first.
Is Stafford hurt? Didn't he get hurt later?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's going to play or not.
If he doesn't play, I think New Orleans.
New Orleans?
Yeah.
Okay. Jimmy, what do you think?
I'd have to go with New Orleans.
I'm going to go the other way. I'll go with Detroit in a slight edge. I got to pick something different from you guys, so we don't always have the same. I got to give it a shot. But like I said, if Matthew Stafford is hurt, I don't think they got a shot. They don't have a shot. And then, of course, our game tonight, which is coming up right after we sign off here in a few minutes. We got the Eagles traveling down to Carolina to take on the Panthers. James, I'll let you go first.
I'd have to go with the Eagles.
All righty. Got the Eagles for you.
And in WIP fashion with Dick Vermeil, he always comes on the show. He's never picked against the Eagles. I'm not going to pick against the Eagles.
Well, as I said, after your pop zoomed down Doug Peterson for you cannot go against the Eagles. You cannot go against them. And I can't either. In honor of my man and my favorite fan of all time, one of the most loyal guys, Big Frank, I got to go the Eagles as well. Well, guys, it's been good. It's good. We've had a lot of fun. Any last words, Biggsy, about the season or anything else?
I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you doing that thing for my dad with the question. That means a lot to me and my family and my dad.
I appreciate that. Like I said, I miss him, and I still remember when you gave that awesome eulogy about your pop and you mentioned me and the Monday morning quarterback. I tell you, I didn't stop crying for about an hour after that, and that meant a lot to me as well. Yeah, it was. I know that, and you know how I feel. Jimmy, anything good going on? What's happening?
You know what? I just appreciate you having me on. I enjoyed doing the show with you, and thank you for everything. Bringing up Biggsy.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Biggsy for a little bit.
It's been a little bit.
It's been fun. Good. And again, of course,
good.
We see your name on these banners, Jimmy. The show wouldn't be possible without you and all your support, you and Tommy and the rest of the gang. Well, listen, that's going to be it for tonight. I want to appreciate all the people that came out. We had a great crowd here tonight. I want to again thank the Pottsgrove cheerleaders, James Coleman, Evan Brisblatt, Johnny Miller, and of course my guest co-host, Mr. Scott Reed. I want to thank everybody. Tune in next week. We'll be back in the studio for more on the Vlahos Dunn Insurance Monday Morning Quarterback Show.